Welcome back, everyone, to the Pikmin 2. We've beaten both the first two areas, and we only have one more item to get on the submerged castle. I do have to apologize. There was another item in the submerged thing that I got when I wasn't recording. Because I'll try to make a long story short. I was going down the path, and the plan was that I was going to do a dry run of the cave, make sure that I knew where I was going, what I need to gather, and then I proceeded to save, which means that I can't go backwards. So once I saved the first time, I figured, it's not a big deal. I ended up picking up only one of two treasures. If I picked up both the treasures, we'd be skipping over doing what I'm doing right now. If I picked up none of the treasures, we'd be doing this anyways. But you'd see me getting literally all of the treasures on camera. Instead of, for some reason, having one more but never actually showing up on camera as to me ever getting it because it's not in any of my recordings. Oh well. What are you gonna do, right? So I picked up. There's one of the areas. I mean, the cave that we're about to do is not that long, as you know. It's about 5 levels deep. The last level we already did the boss on, so we don't have to try to go get the treasure from the bottom level. So you can eliminate level 5. Level 1 was also completely done. I believe level 2 is also completely done, so 3 and 4 are the only two areas where there could possibly be something, and I already know what enemy. There's a golden beetle looking thing that in most times you run in the golden beetle, it'll drop like honey or the red Pikmin juice or the purple sun juice. But in this particular case, it is carrying an item I need to 100% the game. So the only way to get it is to have it flip over. The only way it flips over is if you throw Pikmin and it lands directly on top of them. And that's easier done with purple Pikmin than it is with, say, blue, which is all I have right now. So as you can see, I'm just going straight to the whatever you want to call it, hole. So we go to the next level. We don't lose any Pikmin. I don't accidentally drown one or burn one or electrify one. We just go to the next level with all of our Pikmin in tow. This is going to be the same thing. This is an area, as you probably remember. The only difference is I have to make sure that I have to actually use the Pikmin to take the ball down, and then there's a little stone thing on top of the area, the hole to the next area. So I'm gonna need those Pikmin also to knock out the stones so we can move on. So, depending if there are any enemies here, we may have to fight them. Doesn't look like it, so we'll just push them over here, and you guys can fight this stone thing. And once you knock off the stone cap, we'll move on with this level, or this area. It shouldn't take me terribly long to do this, other than I'm not sure how long it's going to take me to turn over the gold beetle to get the item. It doesn't take me very long. This whole thing is just going to be, it'll be a short day. It'll be a short recording, at least for the submerged castle. And then I'll probably do some Pikmin recruiting and some berry gathering. And from there, we'll just move on. Seeing if I can send Olimar over here, which looks like there's another gate set up. So I'm going to have to bring my Pikmin over. But there shouldn't be anything that stands in my way other than this guy. But that's okay, because I'll just turn these bulb orbs into mindless drones that serve my every will. Come, bulb orbs, you do everything that is right. You're good against electricity and fire and water. I don't think you have the properties that purple Pikmin have, but I don't have to worry about any of the downsides the other Pikmin have either. The problem is I cannot take you with me. Once I leave the area, I am gone forever. Or these Bulborbs stay behind. Alright, you can work on, I guess, taking down the gate. I was hoping you get over the gate, start fighting this thing, so that we would be more efficient with our time. Alright. Alright, next level. Level 4. This is clearly the area that has the last treasure in it. Unless for some reason there was buried treasure in the fifth area that I didn't see. But I'm pretty sure we cleared that level out. So, sub-level 4. Submerged Castle. This might be the hardest one to do because this has poison. I don't have white Pikmin. Whereas if I kill you and get 5 or 6 or whatever number of Bulborbs there are, that will make this so much easier. So let's use the Bulborbs to kill the poison, and we'll use our other Pikmin to... Hopefully we'll find the, oh good, a Spider Bomb. I love them. They're my favorite. Oh, another one of you. I didn't know you existed. Alright, we killed the poison. Great. Return all of the Bulborbs into me. And then, just for a heads up, if we run into any areas that spawn purple Pikmin, or even white Pikmin, I'll be trading in some of these Bulborbs and turn them into Pikmin. In the meantime, I'm going to run away from Explodey Guy, or he will make my Pikmin die. Yep, don't do that, Chris. That was stupid. I think yeah, I was about to say, I think one more's dead. I managed to save him just in the nick of time. When you say the name Nick, not Nicholas, but always pause after saying Nick. Because if you add an ER on the end of Nick, you get yourself into trouble. Not that I've personally had any of this problem, but I have a coworker whose name is Nick, and his last name begins with an R. And needless to say, when you're referring to Nick with the last name that begins with R, it sounds like something else. And that doesn't generally bode well for most people. Alright, it's Mr. Hooray, I got the thing. Please do not die from the bombs, thank you. I lost like 10 or so Pikmin there, unfortunately. Luckily, with this being the last item, I believe I can go find the exit, which we already know where exists, and just go sit by it. And as soon as he delivers the candy, we'll be good to go. So we won't get smushed by any pushy guys. The big annoying boss that is in this level. Oh good, I didn't bring any Pikmin. And I should have, because I thought I'd opened this door already. But I didn't. Fine, I'm pretty sure Roller Demon thing can't come down that aisle. Or if he can, we'll just be sad. Hail Passion! I don't know, I'm not sure I understand that one. Yep, but we're gonna go and we're going to go take out the wall here. And then I was looking to see if there might be any purple or yellow Pikmin things, but I don't think there is. Did I lose any Pikmin there? No, I managed to somehow avoid the bomb. Which is good. delve deeper with your Pikmin. Yes, please. I believe there's an area here at the bottom that'll turn my Pikmin into purple and or white Pikmin. So we will be doing that. We will be turning Bulborbs into either purple or white Pikmin. Here's the exit. There's the boss arena. And this must be where the purple Pikmin thing is. Yep, this one, you guys. I don't really care about turning blue Pikmin into purples when I've got freebie enemies that I don't get to take with me at the end of this level. Alright, let's do this. We'll keep Pikmining it up, I guess. I wanted to say Pikmin it up, but there's a bit of a reference that no one would get, except for my brother Greg. He used to have a stuffed Piplup. Or maybe my sister had stuffed Piplup, I don't remember. And they would, occasionally they would come up with stupid phrases like, we need to Piplup it up. Which is interesting. I also liked, my brother definitely had I can't remember the actual name of the Pokemon. I think it's called Mudkip. Yeah, it's Mudkip. I'm sorry. And the reason I can't remember its name is because I always called it Mudcutter. Because it had that one fin on its head. You know, on the top of its head. And I was like, Mudcutter cuts mud, and he'd take his little fin, go like this, and cut the mud. Because he would poopy. He'd make a poopy, and then he'd cut it with his fin. Because that was funny. To me at one point. Despite the fact that I was probably too old to be making that joke. When my brother had a Mudkip stuffed toy. Alright, I've cut the episode forward here. We're going to ignore the fact that I wasted time in day 40 collecting more Pikmin, collecting some purple spray. Just a sort of a waste of time. I chose to cut it out of the episode. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go on another... We're going to go try to do another cave. I know the game... Pikmin 1 was all above ground. There was no underground areas. And I understand Pikmin 2 created a situation where you could take your time. You didn't have to worry about the clock because you were underground, and for some reason when Olimar's underground, time stops. You know, it stops ticking. Which, by the way, the phrase, we're going to keep doing this until time stop is possibly one of the most horrific phrases I've ever heard. An episode of Futurama, where they run into what I can only describe as a fourth dimensional beast, and they have the original Star Trek members, including Leonard Nimoy. Boy, I'm losing it now. Leonard Nimoy. There we go. What's his face? I forget all their names. Great. So they had all the original Star Trek cast members, with the exception of, I believe, the guy who played Scotty died before Futurama was even a thought in David X. Cohen's brain. But it was sort of like an episode where I guess the writers and the voice actors could nerd out over the fact that they had the original cast, you know, doing an episode for them for some reason. And so they have this kind of chintzy 1960s, 1970s cloud thing that's holding them hostage on a planet, And even though in Futurama times, basically celebrities and presidents get to preserve their life by becoming heads in jars, which is kind of not a life in of itself. Basically, this entity gives them their bodies back, or at least temporary bodies for them to live in. But in doing so, once he has all of the members of the original Star Trek, including Leonard Nimoy, who played Spock, he was in the storyline. He was the one holdout that didn't choose to go with those other Star Trek members into space, and so once that happens, it creates a situation where the giant space being that's a giant cloud that's pretending to be like a god of that planet decides he wants to create a Star Trek convention. And in the episode, he says, well, how long is this convention going to last? And he says, until time stops. And I felt like anxiety creep up my... First time I felt like anxiety just creep up my spine. Is this like the colloquialism, if you will, till time stop means forever. Basically, I'm an undying entity. Your head's in jars, and through the magic of my whatever godhood, I'm able to keep you alive forever. You don't age, you don't die, etc. And so we're going to have a Star Trek convention with you as my captive prisoners for eternity. And I don't know, that one hurt me more than the Fry's dog episode that people really did not like, because they very much did what would happen if you had a very loyal dog and you happen to die, or in Fry's case, basically get cryogenically frozen for 1,000 years. Because the dog waited for Fry to come back, and he never did. And they kind of retcon that in some of the later movies by saying that, oh no, the dog didn't die, he actually got cryogenically frozen accidentally because of events that happen in the movie that are canonical only after the movie occurs, but kind of hard to talk about when you're referring only to the first 4 original seasons of Futurama. And it hurt me more than the episode where you find out that it's either a 5 or 6 leaf clover, which is luckier than a 4-leaf clover, was given to Fry's brother's son, whose name is Yancey, who Fry thinks for most of the episode is his brother pretending to use his name in order to accomplish great things after he stole or took the 7-leaf clover off of him. And in reality, what happened was Yancey missed his brother so much that he chose to name his firstborn son after Fry, and he gave Philip Jr. He decided to give Philip Jr. Fry's most valuable possession, which was the 7-leaf clover. And then because of the supposed luck within inside the 7-leaf clover, or whatever, that is within the canon of that universe, what it actually is in the canon of that universe, whether it's just sort of confidence, or if it really truly is like supernatural luck. Basically, Fry Jr. Ends up having this unbelievable life that kind of the regular Fry always dreamed of being a very successful, capable, space explorer, captain, what have you, just basically living out all of Fry's dreams, only because they don't know what happened to Fry, and they assume that he either got murdered or abducted or something, and he's dead. And this is sort of the only way to keep his memory alive for those people that he left behind in the 20th century. And that one hurt my brother Steven a lot. It made him cry a lot. Well, I wouldn't say cry a lot. He told me that it made him tear up It made me tear up too, because me and my brother Steven, I mean, maybe not anymore because Steve's living his own life with his own family that he started with his own wife. But I don't know. There would be no person. There's no person that I trust more than my brother Steven. And I trust my brother Greg and my sister Julie a whole bunch. But there's no person that I would not. Well, I guess I could say that for all my siblings. I would basically lay down my life for the betterment of my siblings. And my brother Steven and sister Julie, and even my brother Greg, even though if I were to put him into ranking order, Greg unfortunately would be probably last of the three, but if any one of the three needed a kidney from me, I would give them my kidney. Or if they needed a heart or a lung or something. Well, the heart would be more difficult because I would die at that point, but if I had a spare organ to give them, I would very much give them that. Or if I had to sacrifice part of my human life to help them, whether that means spending a year in Colombia, or spending a year getting my brother, or 2 years or 5 years getting my brother or sister back on track to a healthy, successful life, I would sacrifice that for anything. Their happiness is more important than my happiness, in many cases, because they're so precious and valuable to me. And in a way, I understand. You know, we're only given so much time on this earth to do what is right. And, you know, they talk a lot about helping the homeless and the people that are most in need. But for me, there's nothing in my life more important than my family. There's nothing that I would not do for my family, to the detriment of my own success. Because in a lot of ways, not only is my happiness, not only is their happiness my happiness, but their success is my success. And some of that I think has to do with, and I'm not going to go too deep in this because I don't have enough time to talk about this, but some of this has to do with of course me getting older and looking back and thinking about, like, where would I be if my grandfather had not done what he did and he had chose to repeat the mistakes of his father, or if he hadn't, say, been really financially intelligent and had invested, you know, in the stock market, when basically other than investing, you know, in the shit farm, more than likely your stocks were going to go up pretty much no matter what you invested in. And yeah, if you held on to something for too long, I'm sure it may have gone bankrupt or whatever, but there were very few bad, I shouldn't say, I don't know, I wasn't investing at that time, but I would say there were very few bad investments, that a lot of things that you could choose to invest in would just go to the moon. And I'm not talking about taking a risk on Bitcoin, you know, the back in the day Bitcoin. I mean, like, imagine investing in a surefire thing like McDonald's or the phone company, and knowing that there's no possible way that I shouldn't say there's no possible way. There's a very slim possibility with as popular as a phone is that this is not going to expand from people sharing a single phone number to every single person that wants to have their own individual number, have their own individual number. So. Maybe my grandfather was lucky, or maybe he was well informed, or maybe he just understood money better than a lot of other people understood. Or maybe it's because he had 2 kids and they were 10 years apart and he could invest in the one and then he could invest in the other. He didn't really ever have to worry about, you know, I gotta make sure that 5 or 6 kids all at once are being raised equally, you know. So you can see my my radar's going nuts. In a previous episode, I saw a guy that had like a purple thing that I originally thought was like poisonous, or with like that thing. If you look at the top, close to the left-hand corner, it's got little purple like waves. That thing right there, shooting out the purple waves in the top left-hand corner. It's disrupting my radar. So I have to kill that fucking thing. It'll make finding treasure a little bit more difficult with him on the board. I think he may also put a trance on your Pikmin, but I'm not 100% sure. I've never fought him long enough to determine that, whether he takes control of your Pikmin or not. It does look like he fucks them up in some capacity. Like as you're trying to throw them on his head, it looks like he does get fucked up somehow. Yeah, please don't pick up Olimar or the boss. I need them to basically give orders to my Pikmin. When you pick them up, it makes them more difficult to do. Also, I don't know where this beetle bug thing is jumping from, but every time he seems to come down from the rafters, it's like he's, like he tripped and fell out of the rafters. It's weird. But he jumps up there, as you can see, and then whenever he comes down, sometimes he fumbles, like he lands cockeyed or something. Again, side note, if for some reason cockeyed has become a slang term for like a race or a people or a gender or a sexuality, I apologize. As far as I'm aware, even though cockeyed kind of feels like it should be a slur, to my knowledge, it's not. It just in my definition, my dictionary, if you will, it means you're sort of like you're not seeing things straight. Doesn't necessarily indicate that you have a handicap or you have, you know, say like I don't want to say something racist, but basically you don't have like ethnic eyes like you have Asian eyes. They're all slanty and gross, you know. Now, but yeah. Sorry, I'm just sort of ad-libbing off the top of my head. Anyway, we're gonna cut down the thing here. And I'm gonna cut the episode. We still have a treasure to find on this level, so let's do that.